Last we left off, the party had just finished making quick work of a group of cultists in the dungeon of Shar, leaving an entire room, save for one chair, in absolute disarray. Six noticed a possible door the party hadn't checked out and decided to give it a look. Inside, they found an assortment of herbs and spices, expensive alcohol, and fine fabrics. The party made off with some spoils of battle and continued pressing deeper into this dungeon. Coming upon a strange room that seemed like the outside of a building, they checked the walls and tried the password Shar in various places until deciding to give the wall that the path abruptly ended in a try. It was in fact another illusory wall, and when they passed through it, they found what they didn't know they were looking for. Within this buried temple was, in fact, Tara, who was wrapping up a ritual of some kind, apparently aware of their presence. She looked back and regarded them before carrying on with what she was doing. Doran responded with an overcharged lightning bolt directed at Tara, expending his most powerful magic, only to discover that Tara had already placed a wall of force between them before the party had entered the room. Tara completed her ritual, whilst the party nagged her from afar as two cultists waited and watched the party from the other side of the invisible wall. And as Tara's ritual was complete, a spectral avatar of Shar, the same that the party had seen in their collective dream, took shape behind her. She then summoned several skeletal warriors to aid her as well. Confident that the toads had nothing on her, she began walking forward and delivering her preemptive victory speech, but was quickly and literally stopped in her tracks by Doran's own wall of force he'd placed behind her. As more spells began to be flung about, a proper battle began. The party together took on the cultists and skeletal warriors as Tara and the Avatar of Shar watched from behind Doran's wall. Avashar, thank you. That's a good one. Blows were struck on both sides, but eventually the Avatar moved around the barrier in the ethereal plane and joined the fight.
I think I said that last session.
You did.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, well,
it was a good one then.
Yeah, it was worth mentioning again. I forgot. Okay. Six ran about, delivering powerful kick after kick to the skeletal warriors and one of the cultists, removing them from the fight until he was struck down by the Avatar, only to be brought back by Alistair and Bess so that he could jump back into the fight and kick some more. Bess cast Banishment again and again in between healing her friends, whittling down the Avatar's reserve strength until finally she dispelled it from the material plane. Doran traded spells with Tara and dealt heavy blows of acid damage to the enemies. What happened to Jason's? Whittling them down and eventually causing the last cultist to cower for his life. It doesn't get old. Alistair cast spells of his own, helping to weaken Tara and targeting all of the aforementioned enemies, one at a time, aiding his friends in the fight. When all was said and done, the party had all expended much of their arcane and mundane energy, but Tara was outmatched and outnumbered, only a single half-beaten skeleton on her side. She chose the coward's way out, screaming out to Shar as she commanded the skeletal warrior to do her in quickly. As the party caught their breath after the fight and contemplated their next move, Tara's eyes began to glow behind her dead eyelids. Doran immediately lifted them and exposed a blinding purple light. Sensing the presence of his god, without any further sign, Doran bowed before the rock, which had borrowed Tara's body to speak to the party. And speak it did, delivering a personal message to each member of the Bronze Toads before Tara's stubborn spirit booted the rock out of her corpse. The party began to make their way out as Yorlin finally arrived, having been called for help with a hasty message from Alistair mid-fight. He was covered in blood and shaken. It turned out that the party hadn't completely cleared out the area, and Yorlin ran into possibly the last cultist having to take him out himself.
Due to DM error.
No, everyone else could see it. It was a Roll20 error.
No, it was you error.
I actually only blotted it out for you. I didn't want you to see it. Fuck you.
I knew it.
Yorlin delivered the news to Doran that the message and gift of a white hysterium stone the rock had given him meant he was to be the new leader of the church, as Doran and Bess sat him down to calm him down. Six and Alistair left the underground temple to check out the remaining area of the dungeon they'd missed, discovering a meeting room and a library, as well as the cultist Yorlin had personally dealt with. We'll return here as Six and Alistair are finishing checking out that area, and we'll come back to Doran and Bess for the moment as they speak with Malcolm in the Sharon Temple. I'll bring you back to that map now. Malcolm sits on the broken pew before you two. It's going to be on the right side there. He sits on the broken pew next to you, Bess and Doran. He's clearly shaken by whatever he just had to do, but...
I thought it was Yorlin.
Who did I say? Malcolm?
Yeah.
I meant Yorlin, excuse me. Why did I say Malcolm? You
It's
wrote
like,
Malcolm.
How the fuck did you get down
Yeah,
here?
wait, Malcolm! That's weird.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Malcolm's like, well, better finish this ritual.
Yeah. Well, I'm here. No, Yorlin, he's clearly shaken. He's sitting on the pew next to you guys. But oddly enough, he is smiling just a little bit. It's like a nervous smile, but a smile nonetheless. So you two have just sat him down in the pew. What would you like to do? What would you like to say?
Well, best, I think you're better at this type of thing than I am.
Yorlin doesn't respond to this. He's just blankly staring down at the pew, the broken pew in front of him, and shaking, his left arm covered in blood.
I mean, Doran, you're the one in charge here.
I'll give a little look and kind of squint my eyes slightly and go, so just...
My eyes back.
That he is. That he is.
Yes? Is that a bad thing?
No. It's I couldn't be happier, actually.
Does this mean you'll have to stop adventuring with us?
No. We have business to finish before, of course, I can take on my full responsibilities, and I'm sure Yorlin, I kind of look at Yorlin, you wouldn't mind leading. I mean, Tara wasn't here all the time, correct?
No, I was actually sort of given authority while she was gone, and that was quite often. I'm actually quite used to running the place.
Then I hope you don't mind you taking charge for a little bit longer.
He smiles. His smile widens, rather. Well, I suppose you're in charge, so if that's what you'd like, we can do that.
When is the next assembly, though?
The next full assembly will be in 3 days at noon.
3 days at noon. Well, I should be here for that one.
You aren't required to be there, but I'm certain the church would appreciate your presence.
Do you guys have a regular schedule of assemblies? Like once a week on a specific day?
Sort of. Usually, yes. With the presence of the bronze toads and orders from what I thought was the rock, but was apparently Shar via Tara, that schedule has been shaken up, but yes, we will resume weekly.
Sorry.
How many people are here? You said full assembly, correct?
Correct. At least a call to all, as we say.
But we could do a small assembly, let's say soon today. We could get some people here, so we could at least announce my come to leadership, so we don't have people confused and asking about Tara right now.
You see Yorlin take a deep breath. He heaves his chest. He sits up a little bit. He was kind of hunched over. He sits up, and you see that nervous breakdown smile start to encroach again. He shuts his eyes tightly, tries to get a hold of himself. Well, the thing is, you are now the leader of this very new belief. I think this can be handled however you see fit.
What I'm asking, how many people are here? When you say full assembly, correct? How many people are not readily available?
I don't think I understand.
How many people, if I said I want to gather as many people here today in the next half hour, how many people are we looking at?
If I had to guess, probably about half the church, maybe.
Can you get me half the church then?
He takes another deep breath. I can do it.
Well, I kind of pull him into another tight hug. I don't mean to sound bossy, but I kind of have to at the moment, don't I?
Right, yes. What should I call you? Right,
Dorn works fine.
Call him Big Boss.
it just occurred to me that there was no official title for Tara in her place of leadership. Well, I suppose
Well-
we'll see. I'll get to sending messages immediately.
Get to sending messages.
Change
and
my
I will
clothes.
Yes, change. Actually, I will just clean his clothes for him quick.
Okay, he's like, I'll change my clothes, and then you're just like, no, and
I'll
the
clean
blood
them, and
vanishes.
if you need to change them for your own mental sake, you may. If you see Malcolm, if he's awake, send him towards us. We'd like to speak to him urgently.
Down here?
Yes, just send him in our direction.
You're sure it's safe down here now?
I kind of look at I look at Bess.
I mean, we'll comb through it and make sure that it's
Right.
safe.
Right.
And-
Yes.
I'm sure Malcolm could handle things as well. I trust Malcolm.
Right. Yeah. I'll get Malcolm, and I'll make preparations. Half an hour. He stands up. You see his knees are actually still shaking a little bit, and he just. Whew. Okay. One more.
You've got this.
Here, let me walk back with you.
Okay. He says that's not necessary. Just. He steps out from the pew, looks back to both of you. Tell me one thing.
Thing.
These people deserved it, right?
These people were siphoning worship for the rock.
They used you and everyone here to worship something dark and try to. I look at him and go, can I show you something that's probably not going to make you feel better, but it will help clear your mind about if they deserved it. I lead him towards the person who was sacrificed.
He purses his lips and allows you to lead him as you bring him
'Cause
up.
You did say it was a churchgoer.
Yes.
Do you recognize this person?
Unfortunately, yes. They weren't. They had come to a couple of ceremonies. I think they were sort of a drifting adventurer. I'd never had the opportunity to learn their name.
Did they deserve this?
I strongly doubt it.
Then I look at the bodies near me. Then they deserve this.
He looks at you, motioning toward the carnage. Doesn't look. He closes his eyes and just nods. And he turns. He goes 180, turns around, staring straight ahead, trying not to look over at Tara. He nods.
We will take care of the cleanup, and we will turn this into another place of worship. On the bright sides,
If that is your command.
I say we as in us, not you. This is not your. We will take care of the cleanup when
Okay.
we have time. Otherwise, this place will remain off limits.
Off limits. Got it.
It can be accessed through hysterium, so it will become worship for the rock.
It seems grim, but perhaps a repurpose is fitting. I'll go get Malcolm if he's available, and I'll begin gathering as many as I can.
You.
And Yorlin speed walks away. With that, we will transition for a moment back over to Alistair and Six, who are investigating the other end of the dungeon at the moment.
Cool. I'm gonna quick take care of my dishes.
Sure. So, Alistair, Six, you've discovered this kind of study, library corner of the area.
Yeah, I'd like to look for any spell scrolls.
Sure. Make an investigation check.
Yes, sirree.
Okay, thanks, babe. Love you.
29. Good God.
Yeah, I have a plus 14.
Jesus. What? Okay. How?
I believe it's one of my feats.
Jesus. Okay. Cool. Damn. Right then, with the 29.
Yeah, I have a passive plus 5 to my perception and investigation
Damn.
because of observant.
Doesn't that just go to your passive, not your actual rolls?
Is that not what?
Blake, observant just gives you bonuses to your passive, not your actual rolled skills. Yeah.
Oh, I put those in wrong then. Whoops.
Well, either way, it's still a 24. Nothing to sneeze at. Okay.
I don't know how to put that in there so that it
It affects just
Yeah,
your passive.
yeah.
I don't know if you can on roll 20, but yeah, it's just passive.
Yeah, that's actually a really good. We'll have to look at that because I don't know how you would. How
Because
you
all
do that either.
all I can change is bonus. There isn't anything under proficiency.
Roll type. Yeah. Okay. We'll have to look at that later. I'll have
Gotcha.
to try
Sorry.
and figure that out for you. No, that's fine. That's fine. Still at 24. You begin investigating the area of this little study room, sifting through various notebooks and scrolls, just taking a peek at whatever you can. And you go through it quite thoroughly. The center of the room is just a pile of various scrolls and literature, scripture. You realize very quickly none of it having to do with Shar. All of it having to do with pretty much any deity you can think of other than Shar. And you can gather with that high investigation, due to the kind of sprawled out, chaotic nature of how these are thrown here, and it kind of looks like they might have been collecting materials on other gods, removing it from their vicinity, and what they plan to do with it, hard to say, but they
Well,
were...
I'd like to collect a bunch of stuff about Mistra.
Sure, if you wanted to take some time, yeah, you could absolutely find a few things about probably, actually, with a 24. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Definitely do that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think that's the only noteworthy thing in there. But yeah, you, with the 24, you will absolutely find a few things pertaining to Mistra. 6, was there anything you wanted to do while he's doing that?
Anything? Oh, I can't. Oh, there you go. On this desk type of thing. Anything that's looks official or interesting.
On that desk in particular, make an investigation check for me as well.
Copy that.
We got a 22. All right. Damn. Starting off
22.
strong. With a 22, there's a number of things as you kind of just glance around the library before checking out this desk to try to get an idea of what's going on in here. A lot of the covers of books are... I'm sorry, what languages do you speak? I'll have to check quick. I should have checked that while you were rolling. I think that's under background? Yes.
He's not a
Common,
warlock.
Elvish, Infernal. Okay. You recognize... There are a couple of books in common with titles like On Shar or We Give Unto Him. Just very very creepy religious things about Shar, whatever. But there are also a lot of books written in Infernal, which you happen to know, with much darker titles. They're less of, you've seen kind of some quote unquote prayer books. There seems to be a lot of literature in here pertaining to rituals in Shar's name. And just glancing at some of the titles, some of them given, some are more subtle than others, but you're like, oh, that one's probably about how to behead somebody in the name of Shar. That one, that's a blood. I haven't actually thought of any titles, but you get the idea. There's there's a lot of infernal writing in here having to do with some pretty nasty stuff you can do in the name of Shar. Looking over at the desk, then there are more books and scrolls and things very akin to what you just saw about the library, the small library.
Okay.
But in languages you don't understand.
Okay. All right. I will. I'll let Alistair know there's a bunch of ritual style books and stuff over here in Infernal. but we should probably burn them. Just be the best thing for everybody.
Sure.
He'd be sifting through stuff, and he'd just under his breath go, "Ironic."
Bloodletting for Shar, more likely than you'd think.
And that's now canonically one of the titles. Bloodletting for sure. More likely than you'd think.
Can you imagine picking that up and going, is this pro or like against ritual? Like, like what?
Yeah, you could find it if you can read Infernal. Find it, dig in, and find out. Right. Isaac, why don't you roll me a d4 quickly?
All right.
Four.
It's a 4,
All right.
baby.
All right. With that, you firstly, the first thing that catches your attention, they're like, oh, Bess might like this. You find a portrait of sorts, but just kind of looking at it evokes strange emotions in you that you can't understand why you're feeling them. That just kind of like
Is she hot?
makes it sort of.
I think Alistair's had a boner
She
before.
immediately, what you're looking at is a portrait of a very tattered young woman with medium black hair going down the back and tied into like a very loose pony in a very simple shawl. She looks dirtied and frankly homeless. She looks terrible, but you can tell from the portrait what they were trying to portray is that she is beautiful, but is not in a beautiful state. And you recognize the symbol of Mistra sort of imprinted behind her head, and you understand this as some sort of powerful artifact, portrait, something to do with Mistra. You're not quite sure what it is, but it invokes emotions in you that you don't understand. You don't know why you're feeling them, so you're like, Bess probably wants this.
Bess, can you tell me about the birds and the bees?
Yeah, and you also you do find a prayer book with specific prayers for specific things that you can pray to Mistra for, or it seems to be written by some cleric who just briefly going through it. There's like there's a heading like prayers people have asked me to write for their specific needs that I want to pass on to the world, so that sort of thing. And it's like maybe like a 50-page book of various prayers.
Nice.
And
Pocket it.
Yeah, that is what you get. Is there anything else you guys wanted to do before we move on to the party getting back together?
No, not really.
On the way out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Probably secret tickets.
Oh, okay. Sure thing. Then just before the party reconvenes, then I'll take you to Secret Secrets. Let's bring you over. What you thinking?
6, this is completely up to you whether you would stay or
Oh,
not.
oh,
but
you-
Alistair would stop.
You want me to
Easy to
bring
hear ya.
him over? You didn't.
Oh, yeah.
I'll bring him over. Hey, Isaac. Jason, apparently you're supposed to be here too. Hello. Go ahead again.
Oh, bye.
It's completely up to 6 on whether he stays or not.
I stay.
That was really fast. Okay, I don't think I was ready for that. Alistair would look at you and say, I apologize for lying. I said I wouldn't desecrate this corpse, and here I am going to desecrate it. And I'm going to leaf into a dagger, and autopsy it.
Okay. 6, I presume you're going to let him?
Do it.
Okay. Is there anything in particular you're looking for? What are you getting into here?
Just, all the other stuff that I've been looking at. I have it in my inventory. Well, not in my inventory, There's no, notebook section. I feel like they could add a notebook section.
That would be nice, wouldn't it?
That would be really nice.
That's a good idea.
Because I think there's a little section that's just entitled notes. Any other notes, but it's like that's in background. I feel like it should be in inventory. No, I would specifically be looking at the wrist tendons and the vocal cords.
Okay. Is there anything in particular you're looking for with those, or you're just going at them?
Mostly to just get a grip on the location of them properly.
Okay. Why don't you roll a medicine check for me?
Because
Then?
if I want to turn off someone's magic, I now know how.
Oh, I see. Okay, I see what you're going for. Yeah, roll a medicine check. Nat 20. Okay. Feeling quite determined, given recent events.
Fueled by rage.
Yeah, you begin to dig in with Six. You watch both malice and shocking precision as he begins to dig into the wrists and then into the throat, finding the vocal cords and tendons, and he begins dissecting and taking notes on very specific locations and very specific where incisions. And yeah, with that, Isaac, if you wanted to do this again to somebody, I would probably just say you don't have to roll it.
Nice. 6, you would see for the first time a gorgeous leather-bound book that he flips open to start sketching, and you can see that the pages are filled with tons of other diagrams.
By the way, if it was anyone other than Six here watching, they would have to roll a Constitution save not to throw up.
But he can't get sick, can he?
Well, I mean, he could still get disgusted, but I
No,
just think Six would be the least likely to almost hurl out of the party.
Depends on how much booze he's had.
True.
Fair enough.
If he's
I,
in, no roll.
I watch on with interest, but kind of half-veiled interest. I kind of hold up a hand every once in a while.
You kind of do the hands over the eyes, but like you're peeking through. Like, ooh, yeah. The wrists aren't so bad. It's kind of
as I go through it, and as he's bleeding, I'm prestidigitationing him clean.
okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's not
That's
as
a weird
bad. There's
thought.
not blood spurting. What?
If you're fighting someone and you stab them and you pull the sword out, can you prestidigitation the blood out of their body?
I'm just gonna say no, and I'm not gonna explain why because fuck you.
Okay, that's fair. Oh god, my blood's vanishing. What the fuck?
That is brutal.
Disgusting. I love it.
I hate that. Yeah, but Six, the wrists aren't so bad. You're kind of able to watch that. There's a couple of tearing noises that kind of make you go ooh, but Alistair is he's enveloped in this and he is concentrated. It's when he gets to the throat that you're like, okay, wow, oh wow. You're not gonna throw up or anything, but just the absolute precision is kind of terrifying with how quickly and how efficiently he's doing this.
You ever do that on a live person, like surgery?
I point to the notebook and just offhandedly go, I have 12 more of those.
It's a lot of notebooks.
Yeah. I've been doing this for years, and it's not a habit, not an addiction. Well, it might be an addiction to knowledge. On the living, occasionally, but not for a while.
Fascinating.
You're taking this a lot better than I thought you would.
Oh man, I've seen some shit.
That makes 2 of us.
What are you
that's
looking for here?
So do you remember the guy whose wrists I cut so he couldn't use magic?
I do.
Well, most magic uses a verbal component, such as saying an incantation. I'm learning the best way to remove that. Because I don't need someone's voice to talk to them.
That makes sense.
I will say, Isaac, just for clarification, in order to like sever these or like for the purposes that you want for disabling magic users, you will not have to roll in the future. But if you wanted to like if you wanted to more surgically remove certain things or disable certain things and keep them alive afterward, then you'd still have to make some sort of check. But
100%. Yeah.
for just disabling them, I'd just allow it if you had the right conditions from
Gotcha.
here on out.
I wonder if you could focus. That would be a cool twist on hold person. Is if you could forcefully grab a part of someone's body with the spell. Like you could narrow it down to a certain part, and you could like force choke someone with it.
I hate that. All right, anything else you guys want to do before you?
I've had a lot of really good ideas tonight.
Yeah, before you reconvene
I'm
with the
okay.
party. Okay.
I would. Well, 6, my normal. I've pretty much gotten everything I need. He would say standing up and kind of prestidigitationing himself off. I normally burn the body, so I'm going to do that.
Okay. I don't think there's any windows down here.
That's okay. Yep. I'm gonna do it anyway.
Fair enough.
I am.
Acrid
Oh.
smoke comes pouring out at the rest of the party.
No.
Well, these doors where you say "shar" to open them do close behind you. So if you were to,
Are they airtight?
as far as you're aware,
Does that mean I would not be able to use the decanter of endless water in here?
well,
It would be compressing air by inserting liquid into the room.
that's a great question. If you want to find out, we can try it, but then you'll force me into an answer. But
it was just something that
Could it-
popped in the head. That's fine.
Could I don't like that idea popped into your head. Could I move the body out to this room before
yeah,
they come out?
yeah.
All right, then I'm gonna do that and fireball it.
You still have a okay. Cool.
Yeah, I have 1/4 level left.
All right. So
Copy
you finish eviscerating this room along with the body, and then we'll bring you guys
Yeah,
back
because
as
that
you.
room's already torched, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we'll bring you guys back then.
Or tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna roll for that.
Yeah, you don't need to roll for
You already know that me and Six are safe.
Yeah, you're fine. Okay, so Dorn and Bess, after Yorlin leaves, after about 30 seconds, a minute or so, you hear a somewhere nearby, and then very, very shortly after, Six and Alistair return to the temple with you, and you guys have all reconvened.
Oh,
Hell? What was that?
what?
I just heard my voice say everybody roll initiative? What was that?
Oh, you didn't say that?
I
no,
thought
believe
you said that.
I believe that was you saying it, Holden.
Did you all hear that?
I heard
Yes.
that.
I did not.
Did somebody
It was
play
Jason,
something? Okay.
It was Jason. He's playing dumb. He's not dumb. He's just playing the part.
I'm really confused. That was very strange.
Cookies?
Oh.
So, yeah, everybody
thought
roll
he's
initiative,
safe,
I
he's
guess.
safe.
Holden from somewhere else said roll initiative, so I guess we're
Yeah,
rolling
I
That was
was
initiative.
God speaking.
I went, oh, what the fuck did you two do?
Yeah.
Here we are talking about school, and you two chuckle fucks are
Did somebody
gonna kill
else
us.
like? Regardless, I don't know what just happened. I'm gonna
It
have to
sounded
watch
like
that
a
later.
soundbite, like a donation noise.
Yeah, it was really weird. Anyway, I'm gonna have to look back at that
Donation.
later.
Holden's new donation noises. Everyone roll initiative just to scare
That's funny.
everyone.
That's funny. But then why would you all? Never mind. So you all reconvene. What would you like
Nobody
to do?
would ever donate him to me again.
I mean, I don't donate to him in general.
Bitch. Holden, you're a bitch.
Thanks.
My bitch.
Yeah.
You're
My
welcome.
fault.
Do not go in there, I say.
What did you do?
In where?
Where the smoke's coming from.
I will repeat my question.
As the
this-
smoke's coming out, I'd like to quietly press the digitation it away.
Yeah.
I
Well,
would
the
like to,
smoke, because there are two sealed walls in between where that happened and here, there wouldn't be smoke pouring in, but.
I would like to ask again, but in a more stern voice, what did you do?
Oh, the
I'm gonna
room was
cross
on
my arms
fire
angrily.
Why?
because I fireballed it earlier.
Okay, so okay.
Must have been like an aftershock or something. Or I just fireballed it again out of anger.
I would like a more thorough answer, but I will respect. not
I
want-
just
Malcolm comes in, like, waving smoke out of his face.
Malcolm,
Oh!
Hi.
Malcolm,
I
What
fireballed
What are
it
you
again
doing
out of
here?
anger.
in the hell's just happened?
I
I
fireballed that room out of anger.
what? Torch.
He starts surveying what's happened. Well done.
I see you got my message.
I did. I
Did you
feel.
get some good Z's?
I don't exactly get Z's, as it were, but yeah, I got some good Z's. I'm not 100%, but I'm good enough.
So Yorlin is going forth and gathering half the church. Did he tell you that?
No, he just seemed very.
He killed
Scared?
someone, so he's a little scared.
You. I have a lot of questions, but
Oh, by the way, I'm in charge now.
He looks at your chest with the white stone. That you are.
So we have a meeting. Alistair. Just so you know, before we head off to do our other things, we are gathering half the church in half an hour to update them on the fact that I am now in charge.
Okay.
That's
I think that's a good idea.
That's fantastic. Thank you for what you've done down here. I feel actually better than I have in a long time, despite being surrounded by corpses. So
They were all bad corpses, if that makes you feel.
that's
Not that one. And I point to the one behind me.
He continues. So why did you need me down here?
Because I need you to survey this area and figure out what the fuck this place is.
Kind of looks around, looks at the symbology on the floor.
Where did it come from? Because this place doesn't seem like it belongs here. It seems like it was you described it in a certain way last week, Holden.
Yes, it is as if the entrance. You know, like the Church of the Rock, I think, has something like this as well. There's like, there's a little path out front and a little bit of, leading up to the building. It's kind of as if this was an entire temple structure of some sort that was just plopped underground with parts of the outside along with it.
Okay, so I will say I need you to figure out A, what the fuck this place is. B, how it got here. C, is it worth us? Is it too desecrated by Shar for us to try to fix it and give it into more of a place for worship for the rock?
Looking around, like just a half smile cracks across his face. I mean,
4 D20s.
the fuck was that?
Roll 4 d20s. That's what you just said.
What the fuck is happening?
I
Is-
have no clue.
Is somebody hopping into our Discord and like playing shit and then?
No, there's nobody joining and leaving.
Hold on. What?
This is so fucked
Who is
up.
fucking with me and how are they?
This is so good.
I'm genuinely so confused.
I mean, it has
Jason's
to
fucking with us, right?
be. He wasn't even at his computer. Okay, Jason, even if it wasn't you, I have to say it is you because of that zoom in.
That was
Jason's sus.
Womp,
J-
womp, womp.
yo, Jason kind of sus.
I would like to vote Jason off the airlock.
Is somebody like playing my fucking stream or something?
Okay, hold on. A, why would I do that?
I don't know. I know Jason watches some of the old Direwoods.
I did not have your stream up for the Roll Initiative one, but I did have it up for the Roll 4020s one.
But when's the last time you said roll 40?
No, these things that are being said have not been said this stream. It's like somebody pulled up an old Direwood and is playing it on their phone, and every once in a while just like brings it up to the microphone for a moment and then like turn into a werewolf.
Okay.
What? There was Jesse. What is happening? We're all hearing this, right?
I didn't hear that last one.
Yeah, I heard that one. My phone's off.
Dude, what the fuck is Jason? What are you doing?
My apologies.
You've been suspiciously quiet this whole time. We know it's you. What are you doing?
Just, whatever.
17?
I may have made a Direwood soundboard. It's just something I might have done.
Shit lord.
A Direwood soundboard. The fucking tiers of shit posting we have hit.
Oh. Where's he going?
Keep going.
You
I
made
won't-
him fucking rage quit his own game.
I won't do it anymore. I thought it was entertaining.
Pointy.
I'm gonna need this. I'll be right there.
That's a sword.
He's going to Seattle. I don't know if you heard that. He's getting excited.
I did. I do
Jason, is it on
apologize.
the App
was-
Store?
No, I did it with my Stream Deck and watching through very carefully a bunch of old episodes of Direwood.
How long did that take you?
Each of the episodes is like 3 hours.
how long did it take you to make that soundboard?
I watched a lot of episodes.
Jason, give me a number. How long did it take you to make that soundboard? Because depending on that length, I don't know if we can be mad at you.
I've been working on it for a couple months.
Oh, hold on, you can't be mad. The dedication.
I didn't mean to disrupt everything. I do apologize. So I'm done. I just wanted to show it off.
Wow. That was.
I don't know
Jason,
if I
you
want to
were
give
mad.
6 a curse or a boon. I'm really conflicted. Where the
Play more of the soundboard.
no.
We're okay for right now. We can go on
Months,
later.
Jason. Months.
I
Like I
can't.
say, the episodes are like 3 hours each.
You were pulling clips from Jesse talking about being a werewolf. That's like first 20 episodes. They're so quiet too. They're so quiet. That's what was tripping me up. If I just heard that in my head all of a sudden, I would have maybe we could have as a group connected some dots. But they're so quiet. It was like, what? What?
You missed Jesse. That's the dots you need to connect.
God.
Okay, my apologies.
Okay.
It's too late to apologize.
Where the fuck were we?
I
Okay, you
asked
asked
him-
Malcolm if this could be turned into a place of worship. He cracked like a half smile. He started looking around. And he said, he was going to say, well, this place could be, it is in fact a temple, if you're willing to worship in a place where evil once stood, that's one thing. But also, I would be concerned for the image of the church if there was a semi-secret underground area such as this. But I suppose it's already here. I would suggest you either lock it away and seal it up and pretend it never happened, or spend the next 3 years completely repurposing it.
That's the one I'm looking at right now. Is the second
Why?
option.
Why exactly 3 years?
I just presume that's how long it's going to take.
Huh.
Not only does everything need to be purged, it also needs to be repaired, and we need to make it less terrible.
Maybe add some windows is what I'm thinking.
You know, I don't think
Jason hates windows.
I don't think the view would be very spectacular, but we could conjure some spells, some permanent spells, make it look nice. Yeah.
What if we
Dirt.
dug down on the outside of the church
Or
to
we could just-
unveil?
We could create a massive crater here. I know how to do that, actually. If you would like to gather me, I'm sorry, that was supposed to be a joke.
I mean, here's the deal, Malcolm. I am vowing you here now, and I will vow later today that there are no secrets now that I'm in here.
Very well.
So we are not covering this up because there are no more secrets.
So
the church
would
is
you
yours.
say indeed then that you are a church with a shrine to Shire in the basement?
We had, before I took over, the previous leader abused her power to worship Shar. Yes.
That makes sense.
I mean, the truth is sometimes risky to tell, but perhaps if you deem it best, that is your decision now, and I'm not one to question it.
All right. Well, lucky you. You get started on the 3-year project.
You want me to
You're leading it. Because Yorlin will be in charge up there. I put my hand on his shoulder. I'm gonna leave you in charge of down here.
and he's just mouth agape, eyes wide, blinks a few times.
Because I would like to bring the rats down here.
Like the rats from the mill?
Yes. We agreed that if we want them to be alive and somewhere safe, and I look at 6, I think this might be a safe place for them. Don't you agree?
I think this is a brilliant idea, Doran.
What do you think of
Uh,
that?
I think I'll, if that is your command, I will
I
be.
want your opinion.
My opinion? If you want this place down here to be my charge, I don't think a family of rats will be the best idea. But I can, if you give me time, I can give you a better formed opinion if you allow me to survey and map out the area and start figuring out what I can do.
All right.
It's actually not a bad idea. The rats feed on hysterium. The hysterium church.
My plan is to get the rats somewhere safe in this city. And
You said no more secrets, right?
yes,
Well, Marcus, the rats, they're not exactly as they seem.
elaborate, please.
Did you notice any change in behavior when you last
They-
saw them?
They ate a horse.
They,
They're reverting, aren't they?
He gives the party a sheepish look.
Ah.
Does hysterium cause temporary intelligence?
I don't know. I saw some of the rats begin to go back to more feral behavior, and I was studying them, and for a time Marcus was able to protect me. He was able to lead them away from violence, but then he began to change, and I began giving them. I had to decide between staying the course with the same amount of hysterium I've always giving them less or giving them more. I was afraid that as they were growing, they were going to need more. That was, I thought about it, and so I began giving them more, and I think that was the incorrect decision. Perhaps they will get better, perhaps they will get worse, I don't know, but I had to leave because I feared for my life.
Well, ixnay on that then. I look at 6. That might be something we have to discuss as a group then.
Alistair slams his hand down and goes, Algernon! Sorry, what?
What? Well, then, regardless, I do believe no matter what happens with that, I will probably leave this in your charge. Because, let's be honest, we shouldn't have one person leading both sections of the church. That'd be a lot of responsibility, and that will be in my hands specifically. And I will delegate it to you two.
Yeah, looking around, he's nodding as you speak, and kind of just looking around at he's looking at his surroundings. Yeah, he says, "I'm tentative. If you do in fact want my opinion, just give me time to see what else is here, and perhaps I can make something of this place."
All right. If you need time, I do also. I have to ask. I've never been told. Do we have a burial ritual in our faith?
He blinks a few times.
I'm gonna need to know holidays, special dates, any of that stuff.
Yes.
I
I'm new here.
that he looks down and starts you can see him thinking really hard. No?
Because
I think that's for you or for the rock to decide, and I
well, because this one.
Well,
I
today
thought-
should be remembered as the day that Doran was raised to the level of leader of this church. Perhaps
what-
today should be a holiday in its own.
What day is it?
today
asked
is
Holden.
the 24th of Celestol.
I look at fucking Malcolm. Go. Is that something I can do?
He gives you kind of an amused, he cocks his head in an amused smile a little bit back. I won't stop you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. That's selfish.
It would be, but perhaps you could give it just a little bit of a spin in another direction.
Say you
It is
free the
religion.
Church of the Rock from the clutches of Char.
Done. Anything for that. However, this person here, and I point to the body, we need to.
Which
give
body?
the one on the altar.
the
who
altar, okay.
Did not deserve to die.
Yeah.
They need a proper burial to make sure their soul is taken care of by the rock.
Well,
They
it-
were bystander in all this.
if a proper ritual comes to mind, or if the rock guides you, as I'm sure it does, I'm sure you'll come up with something. I'm gonna get to the work you have dealt me. And he immediately turns around and starts walking away to start surveying the area, presumably.
You will be at the meeting in half an hour, though, correct?
And he's
I'd
like,
say not as a question.
yeah. He's like halfway through stepping the wall, and so like you only see like his back. He just backs up a little bit, turns around. Of course. And then goes back.
Well, congratulations, Doran.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to this meeting, and everyone's reaction to this.
Hopefully, whole butterflies and glitter.
Now I've got a friend in the hysterium
Hopefully.
business.
Boo! Now you have a friend in the hysterium business.
The Shame Company.
The Doran Company.
The Shark Company.
The shark! Oh no! Right.
Made
Oh,
this
okay.
work so well.
It probably has been almost half an hour if you wanted to head up.
I will start heading up, and as we head up, I
Hmm.
would like to talk to the group. So, now we know that we might have to deal with our friends at the mill. Sick.
Time will tell.
Okay.
I refuse to kill James. I'll kill any of them but James. He's like my son. My son I never had.
No one's talking about killing yet.
Okay. But if it comes to that, I'm not gonna kill James.
I understand.
I have to say, I'm leaving this one. In my opinion, I will follow your lead on this.
I appreciate that, and I would like you to know that I am capable of making the appropriate decision when the time comes.
I know you are, and that's why I trust you heavily on this, because you, of all of us, you value the city very heavily. I mean, now I look at the giant rock in my chest. I have a lot higher stake now than I did previously, because I am now the leader of a church. You see a little grimace in my face. I have to correspond with light again. Gross.
This is true. Likely true.
Not even just likely. We're gonna have to send him a message. All right, what's our game plan after this meeting? Do we want to sleep and then head back to talk and figure out what's next for us?
Well, there
I
is
personally am exhausted.
sleep
I-
would be good.
I will point out.
Definitely a rest.
Yeah, I will point out it is maybe. I mean, you guys have been underground, so you can't be certain, but you would guess it's anywhere between like 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. It's still rather early-ish.
So we take a short nap, rest. I will probably spend some time socializing with my new congregation.
Aren't a
As
lot of
long
you
as-
still quite worse for wear?
Yes, very much.
Actually, I'm pretty worse actually health-wise, but
Same.
I know Alistair's pretty fucked up. Doran, yeah, you're not doing too hot. 6.
60
Yeah.
hit points.
Yes.
so basically it's a
You're all
short rest.
pretty visibly, except for Doran, I guess, because he can just change his appearance. You're all pretty visibly not doing well. Like I think, except for Bess. I think Bess
As
is the
long-
only one that's looking okay.
I hid.
Yeah.
I hid.
As long as
You did great.
As long as we're exploring and whatnot, there is something else, another area beneath the church door that I think we should have a decent grasp on before we move on.
Of course.
Um,
There are no secrets here. Any tunnel here, I will not punish you. And are we still far enough that no one's gonna hear me be an ass? be
Yeah,
an
I'm
idiot?
gonna presume this is like you guys are just rounding the corner. You're gonna be up topside in like a minute.
You fuckers, snooping about. I don't care. Like, just don't hurt anyone or break anything. Like,
Doran, am I one to hurt people?
I glare at him as we go all the way up.
Yeah, as you enter the lights of day, all of you kind of like ooh, because it's a.
I'm just glaring at 6 at that stupid ass question.
Actually,
Never hurt someone.
there is a very light drizzle.
Oh.
Which
What?
after what you
Outside?
guys have been. Yeah, because you're the. Oh no, I'm sorry. No, that's right. You came from the other entrance. Well, you could still see through the stained glass that there's a light. There's like a actually very relaxing light pitter patter, like drizzle on the windows as you guys step in, or step back up into the office where the entrance to this place was. I'll take you to that map now.
I will quick
You see Light himself up against the window.
I will quick prestidigitation everyone who looks a little dirty. Just
Yeah.
kind of make everyone
Everybody
look
but you is still.
decently clean.
Well, I guess everybody but you and Bess, so Alistair and Six, are still
my
quite.
max health is still lowered.
Yeah, Bess just kind of like her posture isn't as good. Like she's kind of just like she looks a little like exhausted. But yeah, the other two are visibly still going to be wounded.
Yeah, I'm visibly wounded, but you notice that his clothes are oddly immaculately clean.
I clean everyone off and kind of go, well, I don't plan on lying, but I might withhold a few things. If that makes sense.
Yeah, and you can already as Doran's kind of prepping you guys, you can already hear there's quite a bit of chatter you can hear through the door outside. There's a lot of not so subtle discussions going on about what the hell is happening.
I will open the door.
Yeah, the door opens and there's like a little bit as you open it, and immediately everybody in the church just looks over, and the room goes like kind of silent as everybody stares at you guys.
You can keep talking. I haven't made my way to the front. There's no need for silence. And I will start making my way to the front with my friends.
Okay, and you notice as you begin making your way up front, Yorlin is standing to the side, at the. God, I always forget the word for this.
The altar?
The altar, the
dais, the podium.
podium, pulpit. I don't know. The place up there. There.
The fancy standy thing.
The fancy standy thingy. Up there, he's standing to the side.
Catholic school?
Sure did. There's the fancy standy thingy. He's standing to the side. But Dorn, you all notice, because nobody's hiding it. Like half the crowd is staring at Doran intensely at his chest.
Do I see Severus?
Severus. Actually, would he be around? Hold on. Let me look at my notes.
I am looking for him. I want that to be clear.
Would you see Severus? It's actually a really good
No.
question.
Doran's
I don't
eyes
have
are
notes for
gone.
this. Roll a d20.
I will do
Roll
that.
4d20.
Jason?
Roll 4 d20s.
Fucking love that so much.
18. Okay. Yeah, sure. Severus is here. He'll
I
go.
will wave at him.
he's over here,
and give a
toward the front.
very nice smile.
And you'll see as you wave and give a nice smile. He's like looking at you guys all beat up. There's whispers like, "What the hell's happened? What's going on? Are they okay?" And then so you'll hear other people. Don't you see? It's him. It's him. The dream. And you start to gather. Yorlin wasn't the only person who was given a dream, a message, a notification ahead of time that somebody this
His Twitter went off.
Yeah, he wasn't the only one who saw the tweet of a gem as pure as its bearer's heart shall be your sign. A leader will be reborn. And Severus, noticing your new gem, as you give a friendly wave and a smile, his eyes grow wide for a moment, and he bows.
Ding dong, the wicked bitch is dead.
Do my friends follow with me up top?
Yes.
That's up to you guys. Put your tokens wherever. We're not in initiative. Go for it.
I would like to. Jason, can you give me what I want to do? You tell me that. Roll
yeah.
initiative.
Please roll me initiative.
Is this like a place to stand, or is like this the place to stand?
The
That's-
entire church turns on you.
You're in charge, man. Up to you. The
No, I
the
mean, like,
altar.
Is this the altar? Like, is it a raised platform, or is it?
It is an altar, a large, wide altar that is
Okay.
probably about 4 feet tall.
Okay, so it's not something to stand on.
Not something to stand on. You could
Okay.
adjust it. You could, and Beth stands on it. You could
That's
you could stand behind it in front. It's up to you.
what I was
You
trying to
could
figure
stand
out.
on it. This is an option.
I
Okay.
I want to
couldn't tell
borrow
if-
my stilts.
I couldn't tell if that was a stage part of it. I was like, oh, cool,
No.
stage. But like, if that's the altar, I'm
No.
not standing on my altar.
I mean,
That's
you
gonna
totally
look
could. You're in
really
charge.
poor.
But as Alistair
Sorry.
moves off to the side, and your other two friends accompany you to the front, all eyes are on you guys. There are a few people who look over at Alistair because they saw him coming with you. They go, "What? Okay." But still, like half the crowd is just like in awe seeing the white gem, and the other half is just confused. And all eyes are on you. And there's like some whispers, but mostly people seem to just be quietly waiting for whatever the hell is going on. And
Okay.
Yorlin looks. Yeah, he looks over to you, and he just raises one hand. Yorlin does, and the whispers die down. He nods. He says, "Thank you," and he looks back over to you.
Hello. Have I met most of these people? Like, I've introduced myself to majority of the people in this room.
Yeah, looking out. You've introduced yourself to many members of the church. But like any church, not everybody is going to be at every event. Not everybody, it's going to be different crowds. You reckon this is probably like maybe a third or a fourth of the. It's not quite half. But on such short notice, from how many people were in here before you asked Yorlin to go get people, it seems like he sent some magic messages out. He got some people. There's probably like, you could wager like a fourth or a third of the church here. And you do recognize, I would say you recognize at least like almost all the faces, and you know at least half of them by name.
I would like my first thing before I start speaking. Does anyone? There's confusion in the air. Like, people are mostly confused.
Make an insight check, actually.
Okay. Okay.
People are rolling fucking nuts tonight. With a nat 20, you're in your element. This is what you do. You can just read the room like a book. People are mostly concerned. They were called here. You imagine, based on the looks on people's faces, they were called here by Yorlin. He must have kind of stated it as an emergency, and people are concerned. Those who recognize the white gem, somehow got this message, who know, are eager. There's a weird mixture of excitement and concern in the room.
I'm looking for outliers who might not be. I'm looking for anyone who has any connection to Tara and might be like concerned in the wrong way. Concerned as in like, oh God, where's Tara? Like, is she killed because is she dead? So are they gonna figure me out? I'm looking for people with connections to her.
Yep, you would recognize several of the guards in the back. Might be thinking something along those lines.
I look at Alistair and I look at the guards. I kind of make a movement like, watch them. I'm not hiding that. I want the guards to know I see them.
As you are not subtle about this, you see them all. Nobody has weapons drawn, despite the tokens. But they all kind of look a bit concerned, and a couple of them kind of just they don't like pull out their weapons. But the man who usually guards the side entrance with his longsword just kind of has his hand on his hilt, and the other two are kind of looking at each other.
Hello, everyone. Kyle, smile to everyone.
There is a deafening silence in the room.
As I know many of you, and many of you know who I am. I am Dorian Loren Celio Helixen III.
God damn it.
I have not been a member of this church for very long, but it has been a very, very good time for me. I have learned a lot about myself and fallen in love with the rock and just experienced many grand things. However, it had come to my attention that one of the people leading this church was lying. Do the guards do anything?
They're all still looking okay. Because you rolled a nat 20 on insight, you can tell that the long swordsman who usually guards the side entrance is looking, even from distance. He's not angry or upset. He's just looking concerned, maybe a bit confused, not sure what's going on. He's in a very like self-defensive stance, just kind of looking around. The other two over here are eyeballing each other, and they might be a bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? At the ready.
Problematic.
Apprehensive?
Apprehensive is a good one.
So,
Hold on.
it came to my
First
attention.
one scoring a 17.
Let me know as soon as they make a move, or
As soon as they score a 17.
yeah.
Okay.
No. As soon as I see them. Actually, no, that's not. I'm gonna go in their head, mental link.
Okay.
Mm.
Each one of them in succession and say, "Wait it out, or else."
Make 2 separate intimidation checks.
Actually, I'm gonna go.
You-
If you run, it'll end poorly.
You can add that, yeah.
Okay.
721. Okay. The first guy, you say that to, and those 2 messages are kind of broken up, and you're like, not my best work. And then you repeat it more sternly and more, concretely to the other one with the green cape. The first guy, big brutish guy with a big axe on his back, he seems a little confused at this voice in his head, but he doesn't seem scared or worried. The one with the green cape, he's looking around. He's like, "What the fuck? Oh god, oh god!" And he brings his hands down very clearly away from his weapons.
Does he make eye contact with me?
No, they do not seem to know it's you.
Okay. Because if they did, I would have smiled.
It came to my attention that one of the leaders was abusing their power and leading this church in a horrible direction. They were actually using their power to worship an evil deity by the name of Shar.
Doors open all over the word.
Yeah. As soon as you say Shar, there are whispers in the room,
My hands go up. Just
and
cover.
they stop.
That leader was Tara.
And now the whispers go from there's some whispers, and then you silence them calmly, and then you say her name was Tara, and immediately there's people shouting at each other, and there's arguments, and there's all sorts of commotion in the church.
I know this might be hard for you guys to believe.
And
It
you
hurts.
don't seem to be getting their attention. People are arguing amongst themselves.
Nice.
Yorlin, oh,
Nudge Doran.
I okay, Best nudge me first. I look at Best.
Tell them not to be afraid. They're probably a little scared.
I slam my hand into the podium in front of me. Excuse me.
you seem to get some people's attention. There are others still bickering, and then Yorlin looks over, takes his staff, and you guys recognize him casting thaumaturgy as he slams his staff into the ground, and there's a poof, just like a bassy boom throughout the church, and everybody looks up toward the front again, and he gives you a smile and a nod.
Who had the dream? Stand up for me. Or raise your hand. Please Please let me know who you are.
Please notify your superior.
You see about half of the people in here looking really confused, and another half kind of stand up, some sheepishly, some proudly, and they're scattered all throughout the room.
I look at Yorlin. Would you like to describe to those who are confused what I mean by that?
Of course. For those of you who have not had the dream, worry not. It means nothing of your place here. The rock has guided us. The rock has shown us our path. And he has told us. And he raises his hands, sort of as a gesture to the crowd. And you see as some people kind of get the message, and like maybe 5 people out in the church recite with him. A gem as pure as its bearer's heart shall be your sign. A leader will be reborn. And then he just gestures over to your chest. And he regards the crowd once more, and people are like looking around. Some of them are like wide-eyed. Now the room is just, there is a tense excitement, and Yorlin looks back to everybody. Doran is our chosen, and he will lead us down the righteous path. Hear his words and remember them, please. And the room goes silent. All eyes are on you.
Please address Doran by his full name.
Wait, let's see if Holden remembers. Doran, Celio, Helic, Lorenz the Third.
Doran, Lorenz,
Damn
Celio, Helic, Sen the Third.
Sen, and I mixed 2 up. Damn it, I'll get it eventually.
I kind of put both hands on the little podium and altar in front of me. I am going to give you no lies. I'm not going to hide anything from you. My full name is not in my character
Damn
sheet.
it.
It's on my ID. I need to put it in there. I just
It's
haven't.
fine. It's fine.
It's like shit my way out. Fuck.
I'm coming here and I'm telling you the truth on everything. We went down. There are. Is Malcolm up here, by the way?
No.
I
Sorry,
look
he's
at
technically on the map. I'll take him off. No, he is not.
I look at 6 and I kind of give him as I look for Malcolm. I kind of sigh a little bit. I kind of make a mental note. I'll deal with him later. Underneath this building, there are hidden sets of tunnels. Not the ones that people sleep in, but a hidden set of catacombs dedicated to worshipping Shar. These are where Tara carried out her plans. We found out about these when we went to... Honestly, we just found out about them through some means of snooping when we were trying to... We thought something was up with her, and we wanted to find out more. We found some ruins and did our own investigation. So we went down there earlier today to see what was going on. We found bodies that she had bled out. And we found people waiting to kill us. We took care of any dangers down there and stopped a ritual that she was doing, most likely to take over the church. Kind of pause and look around. Now, I know people in this room. I kind of glance towards the guards, but then look away very quickly, so no one but them know that I'm looking at them.
Sure.
Might have been closer to her than others think, and might have known about this. However, if they can promise me that they are not going to continue down that path and are going to renounce that worship and follow the Rock. The Rock has taught us forgiveness, has it not? And I look to everyone else kind of waiting for that affirmation.
You see nods across the room, and there's like little
Amen.
whispers of, yeah. There's just whispers of agreement.
Then we will forgive them and we'll welcome them back into our arms and show them the path to righteousness.
Hallelujah.
And people start to, that affirmation begins to grow. It's like a, what is it? Is it, Lutheran churches that fucking party? Yeah, it's like a Lutheran church that starts to like build up. People are like, yeah!
And I kind of and now I'm gonna move to the front of the altar, kind of start walking around as I talk. You had a leader who was leading you in the wrong direction. I promise you, I am better. We will go into the right direction. I have already guaranteed us a place in the future of Direwood. We have places when we rebuild the city. So all we need to do now is move forward as a group, as a congregation. Do I have you on my side?
The entire congregation begins to cheer, and people are standing up and shouting. Make a persuasion check.
What are the guards doing?
I will tell you after the persuasion check.
Okay, how about
20-4. Dice are hot tonight. Okay. With a 24.
I only rolled a 15 though.
The big brutish guard stays, but the one with the green cape steps forward, and he walks to the center, and he walks toward you, and he stops here.
I look at him.
And he looks back at the longswordman, the bald one, and they lock eyes for a moment. Some people start to notice what's going on. There's still hype in the room, but people are like, oh, what's going on with that? And he steps forward with them, and they both draw their blades.
I walk forward towards him. And I look at Yorlin. I share that. You know that? Remember the first time we met him? He gave us that kind of smile.
Hmm.
And then he uttered the words, "Strike me down, and another will take my place." I look back. Strike me down, and another will take my place.
You can't see it, but you know Yorlin smiling behind you. And they both look to each other with their swords drawn. And the one with the cape, he's actually wearing like a half mask over his mouth. He lowers his blade and kind of, not pointing it towards you, he like puts his hand toward you with his blade horizontal to himself, and he drops it. And he gets down on one knee, and the long swordsman next to him follows suit. And the one in the green cape, looking down, not looking at you, on one knee, says, "If forgiveness is what you offer us, we beg of it, and we accept." And the longswordman, the one in the green cape is looking down, but the longswordman is looking up at you, and there is a mix of, since you've already read the room, I'll tell you, there's a mix of like anger and betrayal and confusion, and he looks like he is not having a good time. But the one in the green cape continues, "If you will have us, we will stay."
The rock will always have you if you are willing to worship it. And I look to the rest of the people. And we are going to follow the rock, correct?
And the crowd begins to cheer once more, and people start to cheer on the two guards who have just kneeled before you, and they both pick up their swords and raise them high up in the air. And the longswordsman says, with like gritting his teeth, "You can't tell if it's anger and betrayal with you or with Tara, but he says, 'Our swords are yours, now and forever.'" And they both put them away.
And I look to the guy in the back. And
One
you?
guy has to pick his up first, though.
They lay on the ground and scoot into the scabbard.
As you regard the axe wielder behind them, they both kind of step off to the side and join the congregation. Some people are giving them pats on the backs, and there's a general good vibe in the church now. But the big brutish man with the axe in the back, he stands there, he crosses his arms. He looks around. Most people seem to be too joyous and too celebratory to notice you having this kind of, not standoff with him, but this confrontation. You see him kind of reach back towards the axe. Brings his hand back down without it. And turns around and begins walking out of the church.
I wish you the best in your life. But if you are ever to step foot on these grounds again, it will be the last steps you make.
As you say this, he kind of stops about 10 feet from the door. You see him take a deep breath, and he leaves.
I'd like to menacingly, before he leaves, go, "And that's a promise," in his head.
Make one more intimidation check for me.
Yes,
With
please.
advantage, because of Doran.
Fuck.
All right,
He used
everyone's
up all
dice
my
are
good
hot
rolls.
except for fucking Alistair.
Yeah.
6. You know it got through, but you can't tell how much of an effect it had as he was faced away from you and walking away.
Yeah, that's fine.
I kind of walk back and kind of pat Six on the back and turn back. We will be heading down a good path. I'm working on renovating the catacombs and tombs downstairs into another area of worship. It's going to take us a long time, and until then, they are strictly off limits, as I do not know what type of desecration has occurred, and I do not want anyone to come into harm's way because of previous people's mistakes. We've already lost one member of the church to Tara, as she sacrificed them. I'm working on a burial as we speak. And I kind of bow my head in pure sadness and kind of look at the ground. And I can only say that we would have lost more if I wasn't able to catch it in time.
The room falls
The
into
full-
a solemn silence with you.
The next full congregation is in 3 days at noon, correct? I look at Yorlin.
He gives you a nod.
I look at Six and Bess, and then at Alistair. I kind of look at the congregation. I know I should be here, and I'm going to try my best. But I have a lot of things on my plate at the moment. And the rock has gifted me and chosen me as the leader. And I will do my best to fulfill what it wants of me. But if I am not here, I look at Yorlin and put my hand on his shoulder. I do trust Yorlin with my heart and soul. And I will send a message to him with what I would like him to speak of. But I will do everything in my power to be here to speak to the full congregation.
Is Yorlin
If you
steps?
guys
go ahead.
will have me.
Yeah, Yorlin steps up as you're giving this last sentiment, and as you put your arm on him, he looks over at you and he speaks to you, although he speaks loud enough for the entire congregation to hear, and he says, "I think I speak for all of us when I say, Doran, Bronze Toads, whether you are here or not physically, the echoes of your actions will rain out throughout this temple for all time." And he raises his staff. "To Doran!" And the church responds, "To Doran!" And he keeps his staff up. "To the church! To the church!" And he says, "For the rock, go forward!" And the church repeats, "For the rock, go forward!" And people begin clapping and cheering and hugging, and there's a sentiment of healing and of moving forward in the temple.
I kind of stand up and go, "Now, because I have been chosen as the leader, I look at Yorlin. Do we have any holidays? Because I would like to name this Freedom Day for us, as we have finally broken some bonds, and we can finally grow in the way I believe the rock meant us to."
Yorlin nods, he smiles, looking back to the congregation. "Spread the word to your peers of what has happened today. And spread the word that today the church has its first official holiday. The 24th of Celestial from this day forward shall be known as Freedom Day, the day the church was broken of its bounds to Shar." And people begin cheering once again, and
To Shar!
Does Six actually say that?
No.
to Shar! Wait. No.
Sorry, miscommunication. Fuck.
Hey, Doran, do you have a point of inspiration already?
I do not.
Do you want one?
I would.
You got one.
Yeet.
Nicely done.
Right then. As it seems, people are cheering for the last time and excited about moving forward. There's this air of renewal in the room, and people are, beginning to. You can tell some people were like a little ready to go because this was like they were probably in the middle of something, living their lives, whatever. Nobody's leaving, like rushing out the door, but people are like, "Wow, okay, this is amazing. This is what's happening. This is how we're moving forward." There's kind of like an air of closure here, and people are beginning to kind of go into those, at events where people, like toward the end of an event, people kind of form into their social circles and they're chatting before everybody, doing their Minnesotan goodbyes.
Yeah.
It's kind of what's happening here.
I will float to as many groups as possible and just kind of shake hands, give hugs.
Many people, you recognize many people who stood up as people who got the message, actually kneel or bow before shaking your hand.
I would always nod my head in respect.
Excellent.
You should make them kiss the crystal.
Nope. That'd be weird.
Put your lips on my chest,
Ew.
please.
But yeah, as Dorn is
I'd end with Savara so I can talk to him.
okay, as Dorn is kind of floating about the room, doing. Wow, this is like really weirdly reminiscent of like a Catholic church, just like the way like now the priest is going out and like chatting with everybody. I don't know how much I like that, but Yorlin stays up front. And he just seems he's taking in the scenery in front of him and seems content at the moment. The rest of you, is there anything you'd like to do?
Well, I no.
Alistair's just got his eyes out.
Alistair, make a perception check for me.
He's kind of been watching the whole time.
17.
Can
Okay.
I notice that Malcolm's not there?
Oh yeah, you notice.
I'd like to message Doran in his head, and I'm gonna go find Malcolm for you.
I'd respond. I will talk to Six and see if we're heading down that way anyway, or where we're heading after this. I will meet up with you wherever Six wants us to. He'll take the lead from here.
Oh, just give me 2 seconds, and then I'd relay it to Six's head. Hey, do we want to go that way?
You guys are like 20 feet apart. When-
Yeah.
Okay.
Alistair's very banged up. He does not want to move right now.
That's fair, actually.
We're headed to the other basement, but it would be good to know where Malcolm is gotten to. Make
I'd
sure
relay
he's
that
not
to Doran.
found something.
Then go find him. Tell him I'm sad about him missing this.
I,
Alright, we'll buzz down there.
I push off the wall with a groan.
Yeah. Right. Okay. I presume the three of you then make your way back down to collect Malcolm. You find him in the basement, in the same basement, so the same underground labyrinth dungeon. He is like halfway through the dungeon. You can see he's already got like several scrolls and parchments. He's like mapped out half of the place, and he's like got like notes and ideas, like just like little arrows pointed to certain spots and dots, like bedroom, quarters for just various like gathering space. Fun question mark, and he's like already coming up with ideas for how to revamp this entire basement, and you catch him off guard down there as you guys come in. He goes, is it time? Is it starting?
You missed it.
Oh no, Doran's not happy, is he?
Not very, but I guess we didn't really give you a specific time, did we?
I got a little. He looks at like this bundle of parchments he has wrapped up.
Understandable.
Like it's 6. Did we give him a time?
I
I kind of feel like we told him there was a meeting and didn't tell him when.
Yeah, I don't think we had figured it out, but
Malcolm, I think that one was on us.
not a big deal, bud.
I'm sorry to have missed it. I was just very engrossed. This place is incredible.
If you find any sarcophagi, don't open them.
I already did. I did not want to touch them. I will not be touching them unless I absolutely have to, but I can tell they've already been disturbed.
Yeah, that was,
Yes.
Oops.
Why am I a killjoy? Your stream audience thinks I'm a killjoy. Jeez,
Kill-
alright, please
oh.
continue.
Yeah, my little sisters are saying hi, Clara, and kill
Oh,
Jolly Bearded
kill
Man.
Jolly Bearded Man. Not killjoy.
Hey,
Wait,
why am I known
are
as...
you...
Okay, you know what? I'll take Jolly Bearded Man.
Regardless,
Wait, is it me or Jason?
I don't know.
I think it's probably you, I believe. I
I
don't
would describe
generally
Jason as a
always
jolly
have the
bearded man. I think of jolly and I think of bigger guy, and that's me.
Yeah, if I had to describe one of you as a bearded man, it would be Isaac because he doesn't have the mustache.
No, fuck
Oh.
Regardless, are you guys bringing Malcolm back up, or are you gonna leave him to his business?
We'll leave him to his business. Just let him know if he... let him know to let us know if he finds anything interesting or of note, obviously.
Yeah, everybody's mingling
of course.
right now.
Of course.
Malcolm. But if you want to pop up and make yourself known... Oh, kill me? You know what? Fuck you.
Kill Isaac then. Yeah. He lets you know that if he finds anything where he thinks he'll need help or he'll want other opinions on, or if he needs you guys, he will be certain to let you know.
Okay, and just so he knows, we are going to explore another tunnel, so there might be more for you to play with later.
Don't die.
Thank you.
Okay, and you guys make your way back up. At this point, Doran, you are just getting to Savaris as your friends re-enter the church.
I would kind of be patting him on the, hugging him more than others because I'm closer with him than just the random strangers in the church that I'm friends with, but not like. So I'd be
You're
like,
welcome,
"Ah."
Holden.
I'm sorry. Isaac timed out my little sisters for 30 seconds.
Say a naughty word.
What'd they say?
Damn.
You can't say that in my Christian Minecraft stream.
Yeah, we're in church right now. Mind your fucking manners.
Yeah, we're in. This is a house of The Rock. Dwayne The Rock Johnson here. Sorry. Yes, you're having a heartwarming moment with Savaris.
Oh, I'm glad you could make it today. It was kind of a last minute thing.
I'm very glad to be here.
Yeah, it would have been hard to explain over a message.
It would have been a lot. Yeah, it would have been a lot.
Would have been multiple messages, honestly.
It would have been. Yeah. Is congratulations the right word?
Well, I mean, I kind of look over at my friends as they come up. We're a bit worse for wear at the moment.
Yeah, I saw that. Sorry I couldn't be there to help.
She was a lot tougher than I anticipated.
I kind of always hated her. So what exactly? And he kind of like, not take you. He doesn't take you away from people, but he kind of, you guys are, it's everything's friendly. He puts his arm around you, just kind of turns you slightly away from everybody, leans in a bit. What did happen to her exactly?
We were down, looking around, and they attacked us and ambushed us, and a fight ensued. she took the coward's way out instead of facing justice.
He nods slowly. Well,
And then the rock decided to the rock manifested itself with her body
oh,
and
that's kind of unpleasant,
punishment for her.
I suppose. Oh,
And
that
it
would make her mad, wouldn't it?
gave us the knowledge that the rock will ensure her soul punished for what she's done.
Hmm. Well,
Are you gonna be around for much? Do you have business to attend to?
well, I mean, I'll be around. I'm not too far.
There's a body down there of a church member that we need to bury, and I don't know any burial. Neither does Malcolm for our faith.
Do we have one?
Not that I know of.
I mean, I know of like a cloaked ranger's funeral, but that's all I know.
I meant just help getting the body out.
Oh, you want me to do that? I mean,
No, I don't know.
there's a lot to figure out, isn't there?
Yes, I mean, we're also renovating the bottom area. That's going to take 3 years. Malcolm's
3 years?
Dude, you know, there's a lot of worship to show down there that we have to eliminate.
Hey. Okay. Well, good work. Your friends look like they could use a rest.
Mm-hmm. There's some tunnels in the other basement that we're going to try to give some scouting to.
Oh,
Also,
go
were you
ahead.
there, was he here for when we were under the, when we were giving when our first speech was done here on the bottom in that basement?
When your first speech was done here, I'm sorry, I'm not.
Not the speech when we lightning bolted Yorlin, but the other one where we were in with the death trap. Was he over there? for
I'd have to double check my notes. I can't remember if he was one of the people pulled into that. I'm gonna
thought he
say
was.
I think so. I think he was.
that? Side note for you. You know how when we gave that speech to get the connection with the Rangers, how we
Right.
were standing on that platform?
Mm-hmm.
That's a death trap to a pit of boiling water.
That's horrifying.
Yes, she had Azuric standing near a switch that she would have had him pull and drop us to our death.
I hate that a lot.
Yes, I need to figure out how to get rid of that.
Good luck. Speaking
that
of the
is one
cloaked
of the-
rangers, before I forget to tell you, I'm sorry. Have you heard about
Jeez,
Light?
I hate you.
I have not.
He's missing.
Ah,
Sorry
I
to
think
put more
I
on your
know.
plate, but
I think I know who has him.
oh, has him?
Yep. Well, this is going to get even more dangerous for me. Well,
He just rocked me with you,
yes.
and
Add to the list. I'm gonna if something happens to me, there's a pit that needs to be gotten rid of. That's the one,
got it.
because I don't want secrets. There's certain things that probably should just be gotten rid of before other people find them. That makes sense.
No secret to keep if it doesn't exist. Okay.
Because don't know if a lot of churchgoers would be very happy to know that there was a pit of boiling water that someone had intended to drop people into if they pissed her off.
He just nods. As
Well,
your
I'm
friend,
going-
as your friends
I'm gonna
approach, he
tell
kind
my
of nods over.
friends that we have big issues.
And he returns to chatting with people as you go to reconvene with your friends.
Six. We gotta go.
What?
Yorlin, I will let you know. I'll be here in 3 days.
He just gives a open-handed wave.
I give a very hurried wave as I start to leave.
Okay, you're just ushering everybody. You're ushering your friends out of the church. Okay, you guys begin to get like ushered out.
Wait, what's going on? Why are we leaving?
I'll tell you as we're walking.
We need to go downstairs.
Nope. Trust me.
But Doran, I'm tired.
What if I told you someone important has gone missing?
My dad's already in custody. I'm tired.
What if
Who's
I told
gone
you
missing?
his name rhymed with might?
Because
Wait, what?
you want to leave this tunnel? unexplored with your people here?
Do you think? 6. Here's what. Here's the. Fine, let's go explore the tunnel then. Let's just leave the fact that the queen might have light, and leave that on the table. I don't know what you want from me.
Okay. Light has gone missing.
Yes, and I can only assume that means that the queen has him.
Well, let's
Can anyone
find out
message
for
him?
ourselves. Let me see if I have any spell slots left.
I have one, but I've been saving it for an emergency, and I almost used it on the guard who ran.
I have a spell slot, so I will cast it. What level is message? Or sending? What level are you?
Surprised
Let me see.
any of you
Third.
have any magic left.
I have 1 5th level left. And 2 1 levels. First level.
Alright, good deal. I will cast sending then at light.
Okay.
And say
Where the fuck you at, G?
Heard you gone missing.
it's Bess. We heard you've gone missing. Is everything okay? Where are you?
Where are you? There you go.
Where you
are
at,
you?
man?
Where are you?
I'm so
Oh, God.
sorry.
We're looking for you. We want to find you tonight.
No.
I've always interpreted this spell.
Are your little sister's initials K and S?
Yeah.
Okay, they're both using the same account.
Yeah, I know. So I've always interpreted the sending spell as like you could feel if the message connected or not, because there's always been, especially early on in campaigns, people are like, how much do you need to know? Like, can you look at a picture
I
of someone
know
instead of
everything.
like whatever. So I've always interpreted it as you could tell if it connected or not. You can tell that your message connected with Light. He got it, but after 10 seconds, 20, 30, a minute, no response.
Okay. Why don't can we where are we? We're outside.
Yeah, you guys have just stepped out of the church, and I imagine you got like 50 feet away before you like stopped sending spell and like figure out what the hell is going on, what the one's talking about. So you're out of earshot of anyone else, but
I want to scry on him, but I can't. Which is
You
great.
can't scry on him?
I'm out of my spell slots. Scry.
So, what should we do? We are out of energy. We are beaten, bruised, hurt, except for Bess.
I am kind of. Yeah.
It is the middle of the day.
yeah, now that you're outside, you're in this kind of just light drizzle. You could kind of just gather it. You just look at where the bright spot in the sky is behind the clouds. It's probably like 1:30-ish.
If we take a shorter break, regain some spell slots and hit points, and use those spell slots to narrow the search, perhaps that would be the best way to spend our time. What do you think, Doran?
Magical energy doesn't come back normally unless we sleep.
Oh. Damn.
So, our options are we don't really have many right now. We have take a little short rest to get some health back. Spend the rest of the day doing maybe exploring the tunnel just so we have something to do, and then because if we head back to the Cloaked Rangers, they're just gonna be in a fucking panic. I don't think that's gonna help anyone.
Who's next in charge? Is it Ravina?
Yes, I believe so.
Actually, you guys would know that. Let me pull up the list
Either
here.
Ravina or Samael Dyer. Of
It would be
Direwood.
Sam. Sam would be in
Okay.
charge in Light's absence.
So
Do you want me to message him and see what happened?
that would be any extra information would be great to help us make our decision here. So I would say yes.
Yes, to what? Heading back there and talking?
I
Message.
think, yeah, me.
Ouch. I'm okay.
Doran, would you like me to message?
It's up to the other two.
Yes.
Alright, I'll send a message to Sam then. I know Sam decently well, right?
You've seen, yeah, you know him well enough to send a
I
sentence.
know him enough to message him.
Yeah.
We heard the news about Light. We need more information. What happened? Are you guys okay?
Okay.
What news about Light?
Yeah. Sam's
What?
response,
That he was-
what? There's a couple seconds pause as you send the message, and Sam responds, oh, it's you. Don't know. You guys left for that meeting thing, and he hasn't been back since. I decided he's officially missing.
Is that when we saw him disappear from the office as opposed to walk out of the office?
You interpret his
Was that-
words. I'm trying to be Jesse here.
Yeah, I gotcha.
He'd be familiar enough with magic. He would add, knowing there would be an awkward pause as he hits the 24th word in his response, and then he'd just be like, Queen.
Yeah, that sounds like him.
Samuel thinks the queen took him.
No, I think he means he came to the meeting with the Queen. You know, we asked him to come be
Oh.
nearby, and then he never came back. So
Yeah.
we took him from there because we had him waiting in the wings. Did
Oh.
the next question is, did anyone come back from that mission?
Are you guys walking as you talk? Are you going anywhere in particular, or
Why don't we head back to
Sounds-
Shine Bright?
back to Shine Bright?
Okay.
I am
It's gonna.
out o magics.
Whoops. Back to Shine Bright would be a bit of a hike. You know, take like 4.5 hours. You get there mid-evening-ish, but yeah, you could do that.
Okay.
Is that what you intend to
Let's
do?
do it.
You guys are out of magic. All right. Everybody, roll me a d6 then on your way there.
Oh, this can only go poorly.
I feel like before this gets out, I'm gonna give Alistair a point of exhaustion.
Just willingly, you want to do that?
Yeah, considering he's completely out of magic and he's at 28 health.
Okay, 1311. Okay.
That's how many nuts we all have. Clara has 3.
I mean, if you add them all together,
Okay.
yes, the group collectively does have 6 nuts. Presumably.
Nice. Alistair's actually missing 2.
Okay. So, is there anything
I
you guys
have
wanted to
them.
do or talk about on your way there?
Alistair would bitch and moan for a good percentage of it.
I think most would.
We gotta come back and get that tunnel, man. That tunnel.
Six. This is such a bad situation.
All of it is.
I know.
I just got tunnel vision.
I'm
Boo.
6.
Oh.
I hate
Mhm.
you. I want that to
Yes.
be first and foremost. All right, you're
That's
a piece of shit. Secondly, I have a lot of responsibility all of a sudden. As someone who grew up lying and robbing people based off lies, it's hard and weird to have responsibilities.
That makes sense.
That's the end of the sentence.
I understand.
I would like to solve these things so I can get back to the church and help make good on the promises I just made to a bunch of people. I also
I
would
would
like
like
to
to
be
get you
there.
back
I
to
would
the
like to-
church as soon as possible.
I would like to be there in 3 days at noon, but I don't think that's going to happen, given that we now have to find 2 people.
Yes.
Okay, let's get real for a second. We've already discussed what situation if Alistair's father dies.
Indeed.
What happens if we can't save Light?
Light's a soldier. I think he understands the potential outcome of those actions.
6.
So
Your
what
mind
do-
your mind flashes back to when you guys retook the old ranger, or saved the old Rangers headquarters, and he got hit by like a fucking ballista and just told you guys to charge on. Like,
So is our game plan then to go talk to Samael, and then continue back to the mages, to talk to Samael, go to sleep, Mages Guild, Ground Zero?
I'm hoping that perhaps with a scrying spell or two, we will have a bit better of an idea which direction we would like to progress in. That, of course, requires us to sleep. Perhaps it's best if we wait to make our decision.
Fair enough. We always do fly by the seat of our pants.
Ends up working for us generally.
There's something telling me that the giant voice in my head in the sky would like to have some semblance of a plan for our plan.
That makes sense.
So
That
I'm
makes
trying
sense.
to lay out the most, valid options. Are we planning on going back after the scroll? Are we planning on saving Light and Alistair's father? Are we planning on saying fuck it, let's go be farmers?
that is an option now.
If
There's
possible.
like proper farms to the south of Shinebright, which we'll say fast forward a bit as you're having this conversation, you're passing through.
If possible, I would like to save Light.
Where are we ranking priorities? Because to save
It's-
Light right now, we know what she's after. It's in her rucksack, and I point to Bass.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's very difficult for me to make a for sure statement on this door, and until I have a slightly better picture. Without
Until we start
and
shining
with-
some light onto it. I got it.
shine bright light.
Nope. I said shine light onto it, but okay.
What? um, as it sits now, I don't know, Dorn.
I believe we go in, talk to Samael, but I think we should head back to the Mages Guild. I think we have to go for those diamonds, then Ground Zero, and do the scroll, and then kill the queen when we have the answers. Because with the scroll, we can figure out if we can save Alistair, Dad, which is canonically his name, and according to the
That's Dad with 2 A's, by the way.
The ad. There's
And
an
light.
apostrophe.
with the scroll, we can figure that out.
Hold on, you can fact check that one in Discord.
I believe, yeah. As it sits, if we gain no additional information from a night's rest and some spells, I think that's a perfectly good way to for us to head.
All right.
Okay. So with that, you guys pass through the farmlands, get some waves from the mercenaries. Work seems to be going smoothly. They do explain to you they've caught a couple of rogue rats out in the farmlands that they've had no problems with. And the laborers from Shinebright are doing good work, and they should have their first harvest within a few weeks or so, hopefully. And hopefully they can get stuff rolling. You pass through back into Shinebright, where you are greeted, as usual, by a couple of guards up front, who immediately, of course, allow you in. And seeing your wounds, one of them would actually say, "Do you want us to get a medic?"
No.
I
Okay.
retract my sure.
If it's just for me, then no.
Can you get either Samael or Ravina?
Immediately. And one of them runs off. As you guys are kind of walking in, maybe some of you more like stumbling in, Alistair. you are quickly met with Samael, who like jogs over to you, clunk, 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 in his big armor, runs over to you guys. Hey, welcome back. Sorry, counting's not my strong suit. Words, you know.
Neither are words. Oh,
Hey, I'm trying. Listen.
I said that with a smile.
He just shakes his head, asshole. Listen. Ever since you guys went on that for that meeting with the Queen, Light told me about it, and he said he had something to take care of. He locked up his office, he left, and he hasn't been back since. People started wondering what the hell was going on, so I kind of just took charge. And as far as I can tell, he's gone. So, yeah.
Well, good job.
That's what I got.
Taking charge.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of already was. I don't know if you know this, but he's actually kind of lazy and had me doing most of the work anyway. So, nothing new here.
You're well prepared for this then.
Oh, I'm just fine, Six.
Glad you're here.
Yeah, I'm glad to see you too. You don't look good.
You never look good, I say, walking towards the outside of his office.
Sam just shakes his head.
Dorn's in a mood.
'Cause I know there's a hole. We've discussed there's a hole on the outside of the office that I can get my arcane eye in.
There's a one in. Yep.
Which, unlike my compatriots, I still have a decent amount of spell slots.
Okay.
Well, let's
I just have
put
to.
them to use.
That's what I'm doing. I'm just gotta figure out how I'm gonna do this.
Okay. As Doran sets up to. Thanks. As Doran sets up to do whatever he's about to do, you guys settle in, find a spot to sit down, have some water, have a meal, recuperate a bit, and I presume you guys will be able to take a short rest here if you'd like, or we can just wait for a long rest. I don't know what you guys are going to do exactly, but if you want right now, you can roll your short rest hit points, whatever.
Am I able to take a short rest to remove the level of exhaustion?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. Well, here's the thing. I normally no, but this is a self-imposed exhaustion. If you want to say you think after like an hour of chilling out and catching his breath and, Alistair would be okay, that's up to you.
He probably would be. He'd still be tired, but I don't think he'd be,
Gotcha.
thinking of having to go on a 4-hour walk tired.
Yeah, you're finally able to like sit down and just kind of like lean back on something and just have a drink.
Cool.
What's the plan, Doran?
I am sacrificing one level 3 spell slot to get me 3 sorcery points back, which brings me to 6 sorcery points. Sacrificing all 6 sorcery points to give me a level 4 spell slot. And casting Arcane Eye.
Okay.
Because I can just do that.
Yeah. As you're all sitting down, catching your breath after an eventful morning, Doran casts Arcane Eye. Doran, you floated up to the office. You find that little slit in the window once again and just squeeze it barely into there. You look around.
You squeeze your eye in there.
Squeeze. Just yeah, exactly. He just put it in. He just tosses it up there. Fuck, I missed.
Yeah, shit, my eye's all dirty now.
Nah.
Damn it.
It's like fucking Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah. But you throw the eye in there. Not throw, goddammit. You're looking around. It's in the exact same orientation as you left it with with the with the 4 chairs at the other end of the desk, one facing away. Everything seems to be as it was, except it's quite dark. There's no candles, torches, or anything lit. But on the desk, make an investigation check for me, actually.
I can do that, Dad. Once I find it. Investigation starts with I. And
Jesus
it's
Christ, hot
God.
dice tonight. Okay. All right. And 6, who can see through your eye as well somehow, also notices. There's on the desk, there's a single sheet of paper. There's a single sheet of parchment left on this desk that you didn't notice last time that you snooped in here. And on it is written, "I told you." That's it.
Isn't that interesting? I say out loud, even though I'm not like confined to looking through the eye. I can still see like through my own eyes.
Yeah, you're all just sitting. You know he's casting the spell. You're all sitting there, catching your breath, relaxing. Finally, and Doran's just, that's interesting.
I agree. I think 6 is
Do I-
very interesting.
Do I recognize the
I
handwriting?
take a short bow.
Actually, no. You,
No, it's on his desk and it's the same handwriting as all of his other
if you're
dwarves,
thinking maybe it's the commander's himself, you've seen his handwriting with your arcane snooping. It is not his.
No, but I've also, if I'm thinking it's the queen, I have exchanged notes with her.
Have you?
Yes, because when I passed her a note to have her meet with me at that night.
Yes, you did. Okay. She did respond. Okay. Yeah.
That was a
especially,
note thing. That was not message thing. That was a physical
especially,
note.
especially within that 20, it is the queen's handwriting.
I go, this was a voluntary thing. Interesting. Bess, you said your spell connected, but he didn't respond?
Hell yeah, bitch.
He doesn't want to be found.
What?
There's a note in there from the queen that says, I told you.
Is it intended for him or for us? As in, she told us that she was going to take the people we cared about.
I'm assuming it wasn't for us. Because... was it? No, because she wouldn't know I'd be able to look in there.
I assume she'd know we could break a door or two.
Well,
She
maybe.
knows that I could look in there.
Fair. Maybe. Maybe it was for us. Maybe. But he'd
Is
still
there
be able to
anything else
respond.
written on there?
I moved the eye closer.
No, just I told you, and then everything else seems as it was.
Nope, maybe she did take it. That would make more sense. Interesting. Well, yeah. So, we're in a pickle.
I
Sam-
want to scry on them once I have the magical energy to do so, but I will need to rest longer in order to be able to do that. So I suggest we regain our strength and then
Alrighty.
formulate a plan once we're all back at strength and back at 100%.
I'm going to go find Ravina.
Sure. Actually, as you say that, she would enter. I imagine you guys would be in one of the barracks tents, having your meal and sitting there. And Ravina would have been there, but I'll say for the sake of you saying, I'm gonna go find her. She steps in now and goes, "Are you guys okay?
Depends
heard-
on what you mean by okay.
Well, I heard you came in injured."
That sums it up. I'm fine though.
Okay, good.
I cough up a little bit of blood onto the table and just wipe it away slowly.
She was like in the middle of, "You look okay." Oh, right.
Alistair is like laying on a bed, completely catatonic, just staring at the ceiling, like everything hurt.
What?
I look at 6. The blood's on the inside. That's what it's supposed to be.
What happened?
We tangled with Shar.
No,
What?
Partially an avatar of Shar.
What?
Way to put it. Beside the point. Your friends or commander's been kidnapped.
What do you mean kidnapped? How do you know that?
Well, when we met with the queen, she told us if we didn't give her what we wanted, she was going to take the people closest to us, and specifically named Light and Commander Willows. And inside his office, there is a note that says, "I told you so," in her handwriting.
She stands there with her mouth agape for a moment. No. He's gone out before. He's been gone for days. No.
No,
Are
that
you su-
explains the note. That so explains the I'm so sorry. It was a misstep on my part. That's why the note in her handwriting was left there.
She looks at you, just still in absolute shock. Where would she take him? Where is she?
That's what we're trying to figure out. She needs to sleep. We all need to sleep. We're beaten and bruised. We need to figure out where the fuck she is and what the best way to do this is.
Fine, I'll go out and look myself.
I would not do that because the second she thinks you're getting close, she's just going to kill him.
How do you know that?
Because that's what she said she would do to
She
Alistair's
has
dad.
my father already.
Well, that'd be stupid to kill your own hostage.
She can get more, it seems. She took
Proves the point.
Well, obviously we're close to you, correct? You go out by yourself, that's just another hostage.
Not if I kill her.
Are you stronger than light?
Good question. Haven't had a chance to answer that yet. But honestly, maybe.
Why don't you wait?
He
if
raised
you
me
wanna
after
come
all.
With us?
If we go out as a group, we'll be stronger together.
Let us rest. Stick near us. We're gonna scry when we have energy and not bleeding internally. You want to see what I actually look like? And I stop disguising some of my wounds. I'm just covered in cuts and and I immediately cover them back up. I go, see, we kind of need to rest. I also am now completely in charge of the church. We took out the leader, so I now have a correspondence with you guys that we need to discuss eventually. So we can put that on the docket.
This is a lot of information.
Yes, it is. When I get stressed, I talk a lot. It's
Too
how
much.
Yes, it is. But some people deal with their stress by eating. Some deal with it by punching things. I deal with it by talking and talking. And
Find me when you're ready to go. And she turns
I
to
would
start leaving
recommend
the tent.
staying somewhat close to us because we're the ones who can't be detected by the queen because we have the amulet.
And she just gives like a hand wave. As a
Ravina.
reminder, you did find out she is his daughter. Yes, she stops at the entrance to the tent. What?
Stay calm, and we will go about this together.
We will. She leaves.
She's gonna go missing.
I've got a
To
bad
bed.
feeling, but I'm so tired.
Alistair's like, everything's going to shit.
It's time
Just
for bed.
like, man, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'll say, if you guys want to pass the rest of the day resting and just relaxing, you can do so. You just have to wait like a few more hours to have gone long enough without a long rest. I think that you could benefit from a long rest. So you guys can spend the remainder of your evening recuperating, taking care of yourselves, relaxing as best you can. And we can fast forward to tomorrow morning.
Scry!
Where you can all take the benefits. Scry! Like Bess immediately wakes up. Ah! You wake up early-ish. You all sleep in just a little bit because you had to have a hell of a morning yesterday. But you reckon you probably wake up around like 8, 9 a.m. Pretty decent in the morning. Feeling.
How much time would we have to? We'd wait. All right. How much time did we have in that day before we could go to sleep?
I think I'd have to look at the rules once more. Cause you guys, I'm kind of simplifying it because it's a little weird because I kind of just glossed over who slept when for the watches when you guys were watching Malcolm do his work. So like I'm just kind of estimating here. At least 8 hours.
I'd have 2 hours.
The
at
24-hour
least.
period.
I'd have 2 free hours though.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I would spend 2 hours with Glyph of Warding, and spend time to put Shatter onto 2 of my butterflies.
Okay, that you can do.
Before I go to sleep.
Sure thing.
I would tell 6, and I go, these 2. When I say the command word, fucking before I cast the spell, of course. When I say the command word, fucking shatter, only me though. I'd set it so only I can say it. They will cast the spell,
Got it.
and then I'd go about doing it. And going, wow, this is going to be. I can just animate objects and have bombs that fly at people.
Right. So, Doran does this. You all take some time to recuperate. And the next morning, you wake up at 8 or 9 a.m. What's the first order of business?
Food, I guess. I will, knowing that we have a big day ahead of us, I will attempt to gather up some food for everybody and have it waiting as as everyone wakes up and
Sure thing.
gets ready for that.
Six wakes up a little early and gathers breakfast for everyone. As usual, nothing substantial, nothing crazy. It's basic, but it's sustenance. It'll get you ready for the day. So you all awake to some relatively hot meals that Six has grabbed for you, and you're able to kind of have a breakfast where you slept.
I would
Eat up.
say a
Everybody
prayer
eat up.
Thank you, Six.
as I wake up.
Yep.
I'm interested, Doran.
Oh, I meant like
Are
as
you-
I wake up to myself, I'd say my prayer to the rock before I go about my own stuff.
I got you.
Be part of my now morning and night ritual. I'd probably say a prayer every morning as I wake up and every night before I go to bed.
So, we have all our spell slots back, right?
Yep, you got a full rest.
Nice. Good. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yep, and you'll all have breakfast. Six brings you breakfast right away.
I'd like to show Bess that painting I got. Hey, Bess, I found something in the library that was there. It makes my mind go, what?
Can I look at the painting?
Yes. He produces
Does
it
my
for you.
mind go mwah?
Your mind goes meh.
Well, it's not wah, it's what?
Yeah.
Mwah?
He seems confused. Like his facial expression is just like confused and intrigued by this painting, this portrait. As you look at it, it is a portrait of what could be beautiful young woman with medium black hair down her back, with in a short, loose pony, with a basic shawl around her. She looks dirty and tattered, but there's like a beautiful woman hiding behind all this mess. And you recognize it as a portrait of one of the few kind of physical forms of Mistra, who is described as a beautiful peasant girl. And behind her head is the symbol, the kind of star-like symbol of Mistra. And looking at it, you do get that mwah. It invokes emotions in you. Like, obviously, you have reverence for Mistra, you have respect, you have a lot of feelings about Mistra probably, but just looking at this, almost against your will, just makes you feel... It gives you this longing for purpose, and it makes you feel a little sad, but kind of like hopeful in that sadness, and it's a strange mix of kind of negative, but like, you know, when you have a good cry, like you cry and you listen to some sad music and it kind of like helps you get through it. It's that kind
you
of
know
sad.
me well.
Yeah, it's that kind of emotion. Like, kind of makes you a little sad. You don't know why, but like it's kind of nice. And it's a
This is
beautiful portrait.
beautiful.
Cathartic.
Yeah, it's a cathartic. Yeah, and you can't explain why it makes you feel this way.
Where did you get this? Alistair.
I was muted. Yeah, it makes my brain go, meh. You can have it if you'd like. I found it in the library of the catacombs.
Interesting. I wonder why it was there.
There was a lot of stuff in there that, if I had to assume, it was like they were gathering materials so that nobody else could look at it. It wasn't. There was nothing about Shar in there. It was all the other gods.
I'm
And
gonna
a
go.
lot in Infernal as well.
Yeah, and a lot in Infernal.
We have an office here, right, Holden?
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Is that
It's next
this
to
one?
lights.
No, it's this other corner of this map I still haven't fully fleshed out because it's just not as important. Up here in this
Flesh.
corner, that was your and Six's kind of shared desk space area.
Where the
Oh,
two
cool.
dead turkeys are. Oh, those are chairs.
Shaped like dead turkeys, canonically.
Yeah.
You go over there,
I'm
Bess?
gonna keep it here. I'm gonna put it on the wall.
Sure. I mean, there's plenty of building materials around. You could swipe a nail from somewhere and put it up there. Yeah.
And I'm gonna just stare at it for an uncomfortably long amount of time.
Bess, I think it's watching me.
Her brain's gonna
As
go,
it
wah.
should.
Six, are you watching it too? Are you gonna sit there with her?
I would observe at some point. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna take you to the secrets for a moment.
Oh, okay.
As you two sit and stare for a bit, I mean, Six, perhaps you're not as intrigued, but you're sitting there with Bess and understanding this is sort of this is something for her. You just sit there and you kind of look at it as well. And at one point, oddly enough, the eyes of the portrait seem to shift slightly toward Bess. And the portrait it goes from this kind of, the facial expression was kind of blank, maybe just a little solemn. And the mouth just curls up ever so slightly into a very shallow smile.
Not a creepy smile, but still kind of that cathartic smile.
Still kind of like, I'm sad, but I'm glad you're here. You know, like, you're having that sad, like, cathartic cry, and then somebody you love comes over and just sits with you silently. It's like,
Okay. Just
that's
wanted
a
to
look.
make sure it wasn't going like this.
No, it's not like horror movie, like the painting suddenly looks at you. No, it's like the same kind of smile I described Yorlin having, just like friendly, welcoming, warm, that a little bit.
Nice. Okay. All right. I don't say
Can I
anything.
stare
I
at it
just take it
harder?
in.
You stare at it harder. The strange thing is, eventually, just before you guys get up to go, you give it one last glance. It's returned to its original state.
That's my new favorite painting.
All right, I'll take you back. Flavor like
So I have a coat coming in tomorrow.
Cool.
A coat?
Yeah, I don't have a winter coat.
Oh, nice.
Right.
You need one of those.
So
Thanks.
Bess and Six spend some time in their little corner space. Dora and Alistair, what you guys doing? What's the plan?
I look at Alice and go, I don't think this is gonna go well.
Neither do I. I could ask my dad if Light's there with him.
I don't think he knows who that is.
Well,
You could ask if there are others.
yeah, is there anybody else with you?
I think it's a good idea, Alistair.
I would reach out to him, see if there's anyone else, but I doubt she's gonna keep her prisoners in the same place. It seems like you want your prisoners to feel special.
Well,
You definitely want them to have beds.
So, Holden, you had said that his office was locked up.
Yes.
I'm gonna break in.
How so?
With her breaking in abilities,
yeah,
Use my
Yeah.
class feature
I'll
break
break
into
in.
Light's office.
Are there any windows?
I mean, you can go across to the door. There are a couple of windows though that Dorn has used to slip his arcane eye through.
special knife
Can I
level
try to
spell.
open one of the windows?
This thing is like 30, 40 feet up.
Oh,
power
I didn't
word
realize that.
open. Power word
Is
open.
there
Power word open
any-
door.
Is there anything to hang off of up there?
What, you want to like climb up there?
Yeah, well, I'll just run up the wall.
Oh, yeah, probably. You could probably like grab onto one of the windowsills.
Okay, I would attempt to do that and then open the window. If it's locked, I would attempt to then break the window.
All right. So as you guys are trying to figure out, you want to get into this office, and you're trying to figure out how Six just like it's not literally like running horizontally up. He moves so quickly up, climbing. He barely uses his hands, so he's just jumping off Assassin's Creed style. He's up there in a matter of like 6 seconds. And he grabs onto a window, so pulls
'cause
himself
his name
up.
is Six.
Thanks. No, because that's a round. He gets to the top, grabs onto a windowsill with one
Six
hand.
Isn't that round?
Uses the other hand to like push, pull. He's trying to figure out if there's any way to open this window. Nope. Takes his elbow.
I'm
It's
sure
open.
Joke's on you. There's a second pane of glass.
I'm sure if we asked, someone had a key.
I'm gonna
Probably
put my
Ravina.
stilts on. And wait, how tall is the window? You said 30 feet up.
It's like 30. Let's see. I gotta look at my notes again because I had specific heights for each section of this building based on
I'm
the
just
original
gonna
design.
say 6. Open. Can you open the door? I can't jump that high.
Yeah, you all move inside.
I can.
Six crawls in,
Please do.
just deftly maneuvering around some broken glass, stepping carefully over the remnants of the window on the floor now, and he just goes over, click, opens the door, and lets you guys in.
Nice. Thank you.
I sigh and go, wow, felt like I just saw the inside of here.
That's not what I'm. Holden, I'm
Yes.
gonna look around the office and thinking back in my memory, what is something that Commander Light had always like? Did he have a specific pen he always used? Did he always sit in that chair whenever he was talking to us? Like, I'm looking for a
A constant.
possession.
Oh, I see what you're going for.
That-
Yeah, make a history check. I see what you're going for.
Constipation.
I look at
8.
6. Do you have a warrant to be in here?
What's a warrant?
You
Not
know, anything you find is
bad.
not you can't put it in the court of law without a warrant.
We
I'm
have probable
not sure.
cause.
It's true. The window was open when we got here, Doran.
I don't think a magical eye floating through the window is able to be put into law either, though.
Okay,
I'm
what did my
not
history
sure
With
check
what
tell
rules
me?
an
Yes.
8, you can't remember anything in particular. You're pretty sure he's always sat in that chair. You're pretty sure you don't actually know if that's a newer desk or not. You just everything in here. This is his office. Hopefully you could maybe use anything in here, but you're not sure. You can't think of like his favorite pen or a specific book he really loved or.
I'm gonna sit in his chair
Sure.
and put the scrying orb on my lap,
Yep.
and I'm gonna scream really loud and cast the spell just to freak everyone else out.
Okay. She. Yeah. Bess.
Okay, wait, no, not really loud. Just like ah.
Okay. Bess quietly steps over to the other side of the desk, sits down, pulls out the orb, sets it down on her lap, takes a deep breath, and then casts the spell. All right. That's a remind me wisdom save.
Let me see. Yes, a wisdom save.
Okay.
And it's modified by physical connection and how well I know the target.
Okay.
So I don't know if you want to pull up the spell to look with
Yeah,
me.
I will do that just to be. Jesus Christ. Let's see.
Thanks,
here.
honeybee.
Yeah, it's fine. Let's see. You heard of the target? No. You've met the target, so yeah, +0. Likeness or picture, possession or garment.
Wait, I know the target well.
Oh, you know the target well. Yeah, I'll give you a -5 for that. Yeah. Okay, so he has a -5 to his roll. Are you gonna try to use anything in the office?
Yeah, I'm on his chair.
Okay, you're gonna try to use the chair. Okay. We'll do this then. Okay, and it's a wisdom save. So, what's
Or
your
is there
actual?
some of his hair on the desk?
No. Do you wanna? What's your
Wait,
what's your
we're
save
pulling
DC?
What?
What's your save DC?
Oh, that's excellent question. Hang on.
It should be like 17 or 18, I think.
I'm
I
looking.
dust for
Give me a minute.
fingerprints.
It's 17.
17. Okay, so then he gets a -5. Okay, let's see what happens. Oh boy. Okay.
Dust
Bess,
for fingerprints.
you sit down. You go ah, and then you concentrate on the spell, not worrying about how your friends are reacting. Probably you guys are just like, yeah, that's best. You sit there, and in your mind's eye, you're pulled into the orb by a glowing, ethereal hand. And it's as if this hand, one you recognize as probably Mistra's, plucks your consciousness out of you and gently pulls you up into the sky and straight back down under the dirt. And you can't see anything, and you can tell you're moving. You can't tell which direction until finally you land in a murky cave. The thing about this cave is, though, let me see here. Actually, I gotta read the.
The second she screams, I go, 6, I wonder if this still hurts, and I touch
No.
him.
Okay, never mind. Yeah, you go into a murky cave and you follow a series of underground passages until there's a blinding flash of white light. And suddenly you're within a cozy, wood-floored room with a gentle fire and a fireplace nearby, an ornate table in front of your target. You're sitting on a large decorative blue chair, sitting comfortably, looking at their own scrying orb. And as your vision comes into focus in this decorative room and you see a nice rug nearby, you don't see anybody else. You don't see light. You see the queen. And she looks up at your orb and smiles. It's about time. And that's where we're going to end for tonight.